In the raw. RK is Guyanese Free Media. Your friend, your brother, me, HAJI, Dr. ROSHAN can in the raw. This Friday morning of August 9th, 2024, and I would ask, where has the week gone? Which is why it is so important to use time very smartly and not to ever waste valuable, beautiful time. So use your time well. I have with me this Guyana Times newspaper of Friday, August 9th, today itself. Some of you may see this point later on. But Neil Adams, who has become a household name, is expressing an opinion which is shared by many, that there appears to be a multi-pronged approach to stall the election case, where it would appear that maybe some people sitting in positions of power, allegedly in the judiciary and other, seem to be politically called by this event and others that we have seen that has to do with the stalling of the elections in Guyana, the elections trial case for attempt to steal a nation. Now, this is a very serious matter. Trying to steal a country, trying to steal people's votes. And I was made to understand, and I was not around much, that someone were not making the necessary notes. And eventually, an apology had to be made. Now, this is a serious matter. Whoever it is, this matter has to be seriously and thoroughly be dealt with. I think also, under such a circumstance, in such an important case, the matter needs to be transferred to another magistrate. If people feel that the magistrate is too unwell, if the system feels, and what would say after this month, the magistrate will not be sick again? Has the magistrate been moving totally, absolutely professional? I don't know. There's a lot of talk out there. Now, Neil Adams is saying the defense in the election fraud case stalling actions. And that was observed by most people. There was some serious stalling of this case, strange questions, and the defense attorney, according to my understanding, what I heard, and I would say therefore allegedly, was constantly objecting to frustrate the procedure. There seems to be external forces out of the court who might also be somehow or the other trying to influence the outcome of the case. With this in mind, in my take, I'm asking, is it not time to select another magistrate? Is it not time also that the magistrate, professionally, would say, listen, I am not comfortable, I made a mistake, I made a wrong decision for which I apologize, and therefore I'm asking to be removed from the case. And whatever notes were taken, another professional magistrate, and I have heard and read of Magistrate McLennan, a military officer, always to the par, to the ball, to the point, to the bullet point, with what appears to be justice. And so someone like that, with whom everyone feels comfortable. My recommendation to the magistrate would be to ask for a transfer or have the case moved. Keep the honor, keep the professionalism, the dignity of the court. Because if once this goes to the appeal court, yes, it will take time. But when things go to the appeal court, it is not always the best. It looks bad for the system and for the person who might have been dealing with the matter. So I'm advising that the magistrate, as a citizen of this country, with all due respect, should remove from the case. That's my suggestion. To upkeep her professionalism and her dignity. I'm not saying that whoever the magistrate may be, he or she might not have been sick. But suddenly, at this point in time, a lot of talks in the street and a lot of funny feelings in the street, especially in conversation with people of the judiciary, which includes lawyers. Some of them are shaking their head and going like that. And of course, this is a matter that is reaching far and wide. And anyhow, let me read this article. I don't know if Magistrate Daly is a male or a female. So if I say she or is a he or he and is a she, I ask for an apology. Now, stalling actions of the defense in the election fraud case. They said there will be no trial. It was publicly announced by the opposition that there will be no trial of anyone for the blatant acts of rigging in the March 2020 election. Further, they were bold to assert that even if there was a trial, there would be no punishment for those accused of rigging the election. Pretty strong words, I would say, by the seasoned criminals. These were the sentiments expressed. These were the sentiments expressly enunciated by their supporters. The PNC was full of it, in that they had full confidence in their ironical institution of rigging. It was their mission belief that it was so formidably established that no one would dare challenge it in a court of law or anywhere else for that matter. Well, those haughty ideals were quickly dispelled when first there was a commission of inquiry that explicitly found the accused parties guilty, and now for the trial of the brazen offenders. This is an article written in this newspaper of 9th Friday, August, by Neil Adams. What is unfolding before our very eyes is a clear, calculated plan concocted by the opposition, PNC, way in advance of the present circumstances. However, these plans were thwarted from the prompt interception of the PPP and its legal team. Barring this, the PNC would have had a free pass with their rigging strategies. And I would like to add, if that had happened and they had taken this 5 years, they would have settled themselves in so well with all that is happening in the oil and gas and developmental strategies and possibilities, and they, knowing that what they were reputed for over 28 years in rigging, they would have put things in place that they can never ever be replaced. Follow me closely. You will recall after election 2020, Mingo paid scant regard to the SOPs. And let's remember, till today, Norton or the leadership of the party will claim that the election was rigged, as if they could ever win an election now. And the last one was won, PPP accepted, because the AFC had joined them, and then the AFC lost the clout they had with the supporters in the upper quarantine area after those people felt betrayed. So Mingo paid scant regard to the SOPs, till now we can't see them. Assorted fraudulent figures of his own. Lowenfield later went on to make a declaration in favor of the PNC-led coalition based on those very same figures. After that declaration, there was the call the call was made for a recount, and that call was met with a political response. It would take 274 days to recount the said votes. This was another delaying tactic, which actually meant that there will be no recount. That nonsensical stance was expressly shot down, and the recount was held. The recount showed verified results that mirrored those found on the SOPs of that election. The PNC was defeated yet again, but the opposition would not give up. Now, this is a delicate magistrate suddenly falling ill with an undisclosed illness, and one that caused a medical practitioner, whoever he or she is, to issue a leave of absence for 30 days. This marks the absence of a trial hearing way beyond the time stipulated for the trial to end. So let me ask a few questions. That is in the nature, what is the nature of her illness? Is it one of terminal nature? If so, let the case be adjudicated by another competent judicial senior. A serious matter such as this, time is of importance, and we need this circus to end now. Well, I completely concur with Neil Adams. And like I said in my take, let the matter move to a more competent magistrate, or a competent magistrate, because I'm not saying this magistrate is not competent, but so unwell for a month and a crucial time like this, she has to fall ill. It reminds me also, jocularly, that Mingo suddenly fell ill. And one of the election officers that was in the count also suddenly fell ill because she was pregnant, as if she was placed there, particularly in event of a crisis, she could get sick. Remember, this was in the raw, and I could be disturbed. This brings back the memory of a prominent political figure who, after having bouts of diarrhea, opted for treatment overseas, far away from the prying eyes of his political colleagues. It was short of an embarrassing situation for that individual, with all expenses paid by the hapless taxpayer. Oh, really? I didn't even know that one. One of them got diarrhea, went overseas for treatment, and we had to pay the cost. Now maybe, just maybe, this might be the experience of the present situation, which is the present scenario. The aforementioned option can be explored again. The point is, if you can't stand the heat, then get out of the kitchen before a more serious ailment comes upon you. Let us face the facts. This case must be tried. I repeat, this case must be tried, and the correct legal judgment must have arrived at its conclusion. And I concur. This case must be tried. And everyone in or out of the system has to face the music. Nothing more, nothing less. I concur. We have waited these 4 long years, and it is time for a conclusion of this fraud case. Respectfully, Neil Adams, commentary, reading by yours truly. Look, Magistrate Daly, and I honest to God don't know something, if it's male or female, so you have to be excused. I will say the magistrate, right? I won't say he or she. I might have used 1 or 2 words a bit earlier like that. I think if the magistrate is unwell, the magistrate needs to do the right thing. Because go and start the case again, and then she gets another bout of the illness, which is a month, is a terrible illness. She needs to withdraw herself, or he, the magistrate, he or she needs to withdraw themselves from the case and let the case go on in the interest of the people, in the interest of justice, in the interest of the eyes of the world that is looking upon Guyana. Those who tried to steal an election or who were stealing votes and trying to give it to the then government party needs to face the music. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Kaninda. Say thank you. Farewell.